Hello. It is Eric Polley at erpley.com, ERPOLLEY.com. I am working on a project here. It is a car chase in the city, as you will. This has been done before. Obviously, people have done car chases in the city. My city is very cartoony-like. That's, the poly difference that we try to bring here. So, my first problem is look at that car, and the issue, obviously, is that it is all over the place. I have tried over here. Go to the Bezier curve. The Bezier curve. It needs to follow. Where's my curve options at? The issue that I'm having currently is that if I follow, make the curve path follow, right? It kind of just turns and does all this craziness whether I want it to or not. Versus if I take it like this, it's a little bit more uniform, I guess. And we can delete this keyframe. Is that one as well? Rotate it on the Z-axis and kind of see what this one does for us. I don't need to create a keyframe because there are no keyframes, but I'm thinking that I might constrain the rotation of the next vehicle according to this one and just make them very close. That might be the thing that makes sense to do. And I'm not even sure if I can grab this curve and then make an animation backwards. Is that a possibility? We're going to find that out when it comes time to have another vehicle come down this way, and then these vehicles that are doing the car chase will have to dodge them, that sort of thing. For now, I'm going to do the fun process of cutting it down and setting all these rotates manually, because for whatever reason the rotation automatically does not work so great. Let me make sure. I don't want to waste any time here. Yeah, see, like, you got no idea what's going on here. It's just insanity. So it starts off looking in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. Let's try it again and see if it actually follows the road. I'm guessing not, because look at the curve, it's all the way out there. Yeah, see, it automatically starts just doing kind of whatever it wants to do. And then it cuts over and just kind of does whatever it feels like doing. So I'm going to Control Z, until it comes back around where I would like it to be. And you know what? We'll literally just rotate it manually, because that will be the easiest thing to do. And let's see if that's showing up in the timeline. And it's not. For why? Why do you do these things? There could be so many reasons why it doesn't want to show up. Squeedly dee doo. Moving hold. I didn't even know these things are here, to be honest with you. Pretty fantastic. Well, that's fine. I'm going to go over to the graph editor. And I know everything likes to show up over there. There's a keyframe. Yeah, still nothing there. Nothing in my dope sheet. I don't know why. It probably has to do with the fact that it's parented to the road, and then there's other items parented to it. It's just a series of parents, just like in the 60s. So I'm going to keep going down until it starts to turn. And then I guess we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Rotate. Go down here. Rotate it like that. Bam! That's what's up. The camera is actually parented to that empty box. This one. And then the box is parented to the car. So that way it will follow the car while in animation. But it will also be able to be animated in a fun and unique way. I really wish it would just follow the path properly, but I understand why it's not. I. And then go forward a couple, rotate like that. I. Rotate. Go 1, 2. Rotate on the Z. I don't want it to be perfect necessarily, but I do want it to make sense. So let's go through what we've got already and make sure that it's not just chaos. So I'm correcting the car travel along the path. Seems to be doing its job. And we can zoom in on these and make sure we like them. So I'm going to grab that, move it one over. I'm going the wrong way. It won't work. There you go. There it turns. The wheels don't turn or anything, but that's okay because you can't really see them. I'm going to have this correct as it goes along. Let's go ahead and duplicate this and move it along the line. Maybe it doesn't need to actually duplicate, it needs to do a thing. There, that's a little smoother. Then it keeps on following that line. I could always come back in here and add additional rotations if necessary. So like right here, let's go right there. Rotation, down here, and R to rotate, and I'm actually just moving the whole car like that. Go down a little further, like right here, because this is a sharp turn. That's an insanely sharp turn. One frame and it hops all the way across. I'm hoping, now I'm not sure if it's going to work like this, that once I get down to a point, I can rotate, or I could just grab all these rotations and apply it to the next vehicle, and that would help the time that it took to do all this. And if not, I mean, that's fine. I'll just go down the line and do another manual set. You can hear my voice. That's totally fine. It's fine. I'm actually just going to go through and I'll tweak all the keyframes in a minute. Like I'll mess around with them when I'm all done, I suppose. That's what I meant. Words. Not sure how long this key chase is gonna go. Hopefully this isn't too fast. Oops. Whatever. Go right about here. Rotate. I can always stretch it out. So if everything's moving too fast, which it kind of looks like it is, but I mean, you want a car chase to be fast. But if it's moving way too fast, I'll be able to edit that by stretching these out with the S key. And that'll stretch it out along the timeline as long as I stretch out the pathway animation, which I can do fairly easily. Let's go back right here, and not all channels, because I might transform it in another way. So I'm very specifically not transforming it on all channels, which means all of these channels. I really only want to do rotation, so that way when I come back and after the second vehicle is in here, I'm going to animate the car swerving back and forth, that sort of thing. Just a little bit more interesting to look at is really what the goal is. Nope, not all. Keeps on trying to get me. So you're gonna forget one of these times. Yeah. Halloween's around the corner. That's kind of fun. I'm excited for that. That weird laugh made me think of that. Halloween. Good times. Whoa, that's a hard turn. Rotate and then immediately rotate again. And rotate. And I want to have a little bit of animation of the rotation. Hopefully that'll work out. If not, I can come back and fix it when I'm rewatching this thing, which I'm sure I will do. Trying to give a couple frames in between all these keyframes, so that way it has a little bit of room to tween when I actually so there's animation involved rather than me literally just putting a keyframe every 2 seconds and then not leaving any room for the animation to breathe. Those were words in a row that I said with my mouth. Follow spline. What is that? Maybe I do. I don't know. Fox Creative Gaming on Twitch there. Where would follow spline be? Is it a modifier? The follow. Because there was follow. It's just okay. That's all right. There is a follow option, but it was chaos. So I was messing around with that earlier, and because the loop is kind of out here, the path itself, the rotation of the vehicle was similar to the path rather than to the road. So when it was over here, it would be rotated looking this way, which makes sense on the path. But as far as my actual road piece goes here, it was not accurate whatsoever. So again, there probably is. Yeah, I'm guessing Blender does have the option to do it, and it probably would have been a little bit easier for me to use that as far as this one vehicle. However, when it came time for me to duplicate all of these keyframes and then add them to a second vehicle, it probably would have been all over the place, and I would have to tweak the second or the third vehicle for that matter. So I believe this is the way I want to go about it this time. But I will look into that a little bit more the next time I do something like this. It might have just been something I did. Maybe it's just all transforms or something to that effect. And it's just not liking, I don't know. It's not liking the way I had my mesh set up. Maybe it was in the wrong axis. I don't really know. That seems like something I should look into, though. I know somebody that knows that trick is probably watching this and saying, this is very painful to watch. And I apologize for that. I rotate. Rotate. I hit the down key. The down key is a shortcut that will take you to the beginning of your last keyframe. Yes. Wait, go back a smidge. Maybe right here. Oop, no, don't rotate. Just add a rotation keyframe to where you can rotate maybe over here and follow that nice. There we go. Yeah, I do more animation. There's a bunch of animation on my website, erpolley.com, ERPOLLEY. By the way, everybody on the YouTube, I'm answering folks on the Twitch. If you want to follow me over there, you can check out what I do when I am doing it. Yes. I'm only saying something because sometimes I'll be watching a tutorial, or what I think is a tutorial, on YouTube, and then they'll just start talking to what appears to be nobody, but it is definitely not the case. Here, I'll rotate that beast. There we are. Yes. But yeah, I've done a bunch of different animations. That's a pet peeve of one of my acquaintances. It's kind of fun. Animations with 2 S's. Let's set the max amount of frames. Let's do like 400. 480 would be 20 seconds, right? But I'm not sure if I want to go that long. That's the straight up truth. I'm 30% gangster. I don't know if I've mentioned that in previous videos. It's on my dad's side. Yeah. And this goes straight forever. Very long time. Maybe I can go to 480. And still be lazy. Being lazy is fun. Spaceships flying? Yes. Or at least I've made the spaceship itself. I don't remember if I actually animated it flying necessarily. Oh no, I did. It was a motion tracked shot that I actually did with my daughter. And there's just random buildings in the background, and then a spaceship lands behind that building. But I did in fact do that. I should mess around a lot more with space. It's a lot of fun, especially as a background material. Boy, do I know something about it not working well, because I am doing this definitely the hard way, and it always bums me out. Like, say if I create a bunch of buildings or something to that effect, and I get told, hey, why didn't you just click this one little box? Oh, cool, there's a little box. I should have known about the box, but I didn't. Control S to save, Control Shift S to save again, and I'm gonna add a number, and that way I don't lose everything that I've made so far. So I'd like to hear more about what's going on with the spaceship that you're working on, Mr. Fox Creative Gaming. Is that I'm not really sure about importing from 3D Studio Max to Blender or vice versa. As far as an animation anyways, I know that it can work with like a dot object or an FBX or something to that effect. Even probably an STL will open up at least okay. But as far as it being animated already, I'm not sure if there's a lot of transferability over to 3ds Max. I know, like, Daz Studio just came up with a bunch of Daz Studio just came up with a plugin for just about any other 3D software you're using. It's too bad that Daz Studio is kind of not great. It does what it does very well, but it seems to be limited. Alright, I'm going to read on screen. You want to see me read? For that to make it go by slowly, I would turn up the keyframes, or turn up the frames per second, rather, all the way up to like 48, and then slow it down in something like After Effects after you're done, and then just space out all your keyframes twice. So like double the length of all of them. If you're able to just grab all your keyframes and stretch them out for the entire animation, I would do it that way. So the question, yeah, if you want to post a link, go for it. I'll check it out. Absolutely. I keep on pressing space, and I'm not in the right box. Alright, let's see if this is playing correctly. It's playing very slowly because there's 1 million things already going on, and my computer is not liking that, especially with me recording it. It's just my computer doing what a computer does. But it does look correct. It looks proper, if you will. And I will. I'll tell you that right now. I will. He will what? Yes. So there's a bunch of buildings, there's the highway, there's a car going through the highway, and that's essentially what's happening right here. Select the car. Yeah, there is animation on the wheel. I'm going to go check out this website that somebody just posted from Twitch, and I'm going to open that on a separate window. Yo, that looked dope AF. I don't want to share that on this live feed, but I just sent a video from somebody on Twitch, and their spaceship animation looked dope. Son, you know what? Have you thought about adding particle system? So, and then I would add 2 particle systems. One of them for the actual output of the spaceship, so like the discharge, and then I would also do an additional one that just shoots specifically on the X and Z axis, depending on where you're looking at. So then it kind of like flowers out the way petals would, and then it just kind of like disperses. So one big shot of particle systems that stay stationary, so the spaceship continues to move at light speed while the particle system stays, therefore giving you a very hard visual that the spaceship has flown away from the particle system. But the animation itself flows pretty well, so I would keep pretty much everything the way it is other than that. I'm hoping that was helpful. Control S, Control Shift S, and save an additional file. Now, let's add another vehicle. One of these vehicles that I had created the other day. And let's see, which one do we want the actual car to be chased by or chasing? I'm not really sure yet. One of those 2 things. The van's pretty cool. The truck's a little bit more interesting, I think. Let's add the truck. Alright. Now, yeah, see, this was giving me trouble earlier because it did not like the fact that I alt-duplicated these. So it wouldn't apply the modifier for whatever reason. But then, when I actually applied it, it went through. I don't know. I have to delete the alt duplication before I actually apply the mirror modifier. And then I'm going to set the object origin to the very center of the volume between these two. That way it can be animated. And reading comments. What do we have over here? Yeah, that makes sense. To add edit and post, that way it reduces render time and all that. I mean, maybe cock it back before it shoots off into the space. I don't know. I'm not sure how much influence you want from me. I don't want to tread on your art. Shade it flat. No, actually, let's shade this one smooth. You won't even notice if the actual wheels are moving because they are in fact smooth. And I want to make sure I apply all of these mirrors before I add them all into one individual piece, because that's really what I want to do. So I select all. I'm going to hold shift and select the actual vehicle itself and hold control and J. So it's just one car now. It was just a bunch of broken up pieces. Now it is not. I'm going to hold control shift S and let's save it all broken up like. And truck number 3. Let's call this a name. Truck. Truck seems fitting. It's a odd looking truck. That makes sense. I'm replying, by the way, to a comment on Twitch as well. Yes. Let's see. I just saved. You don't need to save. And let's go all the way back down to frame 1 and hit the dot on the numpad. And so, like I was saying, these tires are actually animated, but you're not really even going to see them, so it seems like a detail that did not need to happen. Okay, so, and I want to control V to paste. Where did you paste? Why didn't you paste over here where I put the 3D cursor? Oh, you know why? Because pasting doesn't work like that. Only Shift A to create a new mesh works that way. That's fine. You know, it doesn't matter how long I've been doing this, I still learn a lot of stuff every time I'm in here. Stupid little stuff like that comes up all the time. And this is still way too big, I think. Grab it down, like right there. Rotate it 90 degrees on the Z axis. Grab it to the Y over her. Now let's grab it a little bit further away, about like that. And let's select all of these. I'm going to save first, and let's try to apply them to this. Does it rotate? Is it rotating? It doesn't appear to be rotating. Why do you do these things to me? Why are you so rude? So, it does rotate, that's for sure. Why do you do these things to me? Let's just select all. Delete them. Okay, let's make sure that we're only selecting the object transform and copy it. Now we have him selected and it's not copying anything. Copy, paste. If that doesn't work, we can constrain, copy rotation. And let's copy the rotation of this item. Let's align it first of all. What? Rotate on the Z. Oh, you don't like that at all. So before I copy the rotation, oh, you're just gonna be a butt. Oh, you know what? Control A, I'll transform. Let's try that out first. And now, constrain. Copy rotation of the car. Okay. What? It's like copying according to where it is in space. Alright, so instead of world space, target local space. Or is it owner local space? Why? Why do you hate me? Alright, let's first get this along the path. Curve. And, let's see. We want it to follow path. How did I do that with this one? I forget. I'm having a brain fart. Figured it. Oh, it's simpler than I'm making it. Just select them. Control P and follow path. Why did you change? You don't need to change. Was I selecting multiple things? No, I wasn't. It's... just literally parent the vehicle to the other vehicle. Now, if I wanted these vehicles to be very much separate, obviously this wouldn't work. So what I'm guessing was happening is I was unaware that if I parent this object, Control P, and tell it to follow path, it messes all together with my original. Nope, what are you doing? Truck. It messes up this one pretty bad. It just, it changed everything. So that's good to know. If I want to animate multiple items along one path, those items need to be on the path and ready to go before I add keyframes. Excuse me. I don't want to save that. Instead, I'm going to bring these two in, and I'm going to actually just animate this feller. And he's just going to move a little bit back and forth. Back and forth. Let's see, actually. So I'm going to add the cursor to this truck with shift, right click, hold shift and A. And let's add an empty. Where are my empties at? Where are my empties at? Yeah. Size it down. Rotate it for perfection purposes. I'm going to parent this here. And it doesn't really matter. I guess it does. It does matter. Keep transform. And object. Now everything rotates as you would. Now this guy can move around a little bit, and he's independent-ish. Yeah, as independent as he needs to be, I suppose. What is this line? What else is this guy parented to? Why? Alt P to clear parents. And he disappeared over there. Control P. Object. Nope. Control P. Keep transform. Wow, that's terrible. Why is this parented to something over here? Doesn't seem to be affecting anything. I must have accidentally clicked on this. Nope. I think it just looks the way it looks, because it's silly. Special. Whatever. Again, it doesn't really seem to be affecting anything. Let me go down the line and make sure that the car is following, or the truck is following the car. So, before I animate the truck, I want to animate the car, because it will be parented to the car, not on its own free will. So when the car moves left or right, so does the truck. And that is going to suck sometimes, and then but I'll be able to bring in the vehicle, and I'll be able to modify it accordingly. So let's save again, so I can always come back to this file if all else fails. And let's just do some regular animation. So location, I'm going to bring it over here. And then location, let's grab it this way. And then location, grab it a little bit this way. And not do anything for a minute. Let's go over here. Location, grab to the grab to the Y this way. Location. And I don't want to do too much because the camera's following it and I don't want people to get sick while watching this. Location. Let's just go all the way to the other side. Grab it. Ooh, it's going into space. Grab it on the Y. Location. Sure. So a car should pass, and maybe 5 seconds in, so 120. Boy, that's gonna be kind of terrible. I'd have to animate this entire thing. I'd have to animate it coming through this whole way. So I'm actually gonna wait. Over here, push it all to the side. They're gonna have to follow each other right here. So 140-ish. The car will pass. I'm gonna have to I think I'm just gonna animate that car quite literally just doing its thing by itself, completely manually, which that's alright. And let's go here, all the way to the other side. Location, maybe Z as well. Rotation. That looks fancy. And bring it down. Let's go to the right here. That should look fine. Hit I on the location. Go down the line. Grab it on the Y again. Kind of go in the middle of the street. Location. 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 And randomly, let's go here and kind of grab it. Oop, not the timeline. Grab it this way. And let's rotate it for good measure. Rotation and the location. Rolation, as us in the know say all the time. I on the keyboard, not I on the mouse. Now I'm grabbing it on the X axis. That's cool. Real cool. I know, that truck has a mind of its own. I'll come back and I will animate it. So I'm going to hit location here. Up here as well. Location. That way I can go somewhere here in the middle. And pull a little bit over here like that. That way it does this kind of like veer in the middle of the road thing. This is a long straightaway, so I can do that again. But this time, I'm not going to go back. Location and rotation. And this will keep going. This will keep going on the straightaway. Let's hit the I on the keyboard and let's do another rotation. No, rotation. Oh, what are you doing? Grab on the X. I'm getting ahead of myself. I. Location. I. Location. And let's go back into the middle of the road. Kind of like this. How's that look? How's it going? Grab this one. Pull this way. Like that. Location and rotation. And And over here, location rotation. Let's do location. And over here, we will rotate on the Z. No, you know what? Let's grab it this way. Go back in the middle of the road. It's the safest place to be. Yeah. Location. And it's interesting because it's saving location according to its own local space. So I'm not sure exactly. So it's like moving something on the table and then actually picking up and moving the table. So the table, when you move a can on the table, it's moving relative to the location on the table. That's how local space works. Location. I can't think of a better way to explain it. Maybe I will in the future. The future is bright. The future holds the future. Yes. Yeah, there we are. Now the car's swerving around. Truck's like on it or something. I'm gonna hold Control S, save that bad boy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Control Shift S. Let's save another one. And now it's time to animate this feller. So first of all, I can animate it moving back and forth, which I think will be what this one does. Hit the dot, 0. So if I hit I location, and then let's go like this far, X, something like that. Ish, right? Location, and then let's just say I duplicate this one and grab it on, duplicate it on the X, and let's select all of that. Go into, am I already in the graphic editor? Yes, and extrapolate. Extrapolation. Words. They're hard. Can I make an F curve? Where is it? Why isn't it showing me the magic? I want to see the magic. It is happening, but it's not showing me it like I would like to see it. Maybe it's in the dope sheet. Dope sheet! There's nothing here. Cool. Action editor. There it is. But where's the stuff I want to see? Mask? No. Shape? No. Dope? Sure. It is there in the dope sheet now. But I want to see is the craziness. But, oh well. So I wanted to size all of this because it was looking a little weird. Grab it, move it like that. So it's not moving so fast. It's still moving pretty darn fast. A little too fast for my liking. I'm gonna go way up. That way it's moving back and forth like this. That was still moving a little bit fast. That's why. It's because it's doing this weird, like, back where it started thing. Now, why is it doing that? Let's delete all of these. And it's like, nope, you can't delete it. Well, groovy. Yep, I'm gonna open it up from 2 seconds ago. Okay, so that's not happening yet. Location, and down here, let's do 40. Location, and smack in the middle. Bring it back, X. Now, is there a way I can animate that to where it's only on the local space? I don't think so. Location. Okay, so it's a little more subtle. So I can add drop light and make a cycle. And normally what I'm used to seeing, I'm not sure why it's not showing this to me, to be honest with you, is it will show the F curve so I can see what I just did, but it's not showing it to me. I must have it turned off or something. Okay, so this one I think is the one that needs to be the F. There it is. That's that beautiful thing I wanted to see. Goodness golly. Now that's moving back and forth. We can probably grab some of this and make it move a little bit more than that. Like so. Now the thing I want to be careful about is it's only on one axis. So when I go like over here and it wiggles the wrong way, it will look acceptable. Alright. I should probably move it the other direction as well. Location. Make sure it's moving as much as it should. So, it's relatively random now, but I can grab this car by itself, which is what I will now do. So location, And I want to be able to see what the heck's going on here. Timeline, dope sheet, action editor, okay. Location. And again, I can go through and make sure that this looks okay when I am done. Just to make sure I don't spend all day looking at things or zooming in on keyframes that I can fix momentarily. Location, location. Grab it on the Y. Ooh. Touchy. Put it back where it belongs. Go down the line. So he gets kind of close. Then you cut a corner. I forget where. Is this where the car is supposed to pass? Yeah, I think so. So actually, this guy can go even further. Location. So I'm keeping the camera right where it's at currently, following the one car. It's not spinning around or anything because I want to be able to see exactly where I'm at in space. Okay, so that can go by real quick. Nope, not location, or not rotation, location. And move it over down the y-axis, about like that. Location. And maybe move it back a little bit more this way. I can actually even have it like fall behind. Oops. Grab this on the X, on the Y actually. And the X. Duplicate and bring it back. Now, as far as Blender is concerned, this is sitting all the way at the beginning of the track. The only reason that it's animating back and forth while driving is because it is following this cube, which is following this car. I know, it gets tricky. That's why it's such a pain in the butt to try and follow along someone else's file that they already have created, and they're like, fix this. You're like, no, I don't want to. Bum, 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 bum. Woo. Is that intersected into the car? Nope, it's not. And go back. Location, grab it, go like here. Not too far. Location. And he's going to get real close to passing. Kind of making it up as I go. Obviously. Whatever. Just want to make sure that there's not like a weird shadow underneath the car. There's no light. That looks pretty cool. Alright, so that was a glimpse into the final version of what I'm trying to work on here. Trying to make an interesting car chase, essentially. Not really anything in particular. Obviously, we don't want it intersecting with the wall. That doesn't really happen in a car chase. Unless it's the end of the car chase. Location. Control S to save. I'm gonna Control Shift S and save again. And it always opens up on the wrong side. I know, I was just sitting there in silence for a long time. I get really into the things that I'm doing. That's why I do the things that I do. Oh, that was a problem. Did you see that? That's unacceptable. Location. Just gotta make sure there's no intersections in the wall. And this is a frame by frame process. Doesn't appear to be an intersection here. That was really close. But no bowl of cereal. Trying to switch up these old outdated catchphrases. You guys on with you on board with me with this? I'm changing the world. Does this move around freely? No, not really. I wanted to, and I wanted to parent it to a empty like this. I guess I could have put an object on the outside and then had it not render in the final, but I don't like trying to remember all this processy stuff till the last minute. It's kind of a bummer. I won't really know how clean and nice this looks until it gets time to the final product and I render it and see it in the proper frames per second. But for now, this gives me a pretty good idea. I guess I can go down to here and go like let's extend, and it's still gonna play way too slow. Let's do it this way so I can see what the heck's going on. Gall dang. Yeah, it should look pretty sweet. My computer's revving up. It doesn't like probably all these buildings in the background, I'm gonna guess. Or maybe just the length of the curve is it's a lot. And this is a very long video, but I wanted to get as far as I possibly could creating this. Essentially, the car chase itself is done. I'm just adding extra bits and pieces, which I might render this out right now just to see it. Not finished, but just to make sure that the animation itself is pretty good. Before I add in all the details and make it to where it's so slow that you literally can't even play the animation. So 140 is about where that next car comes into place, right? It's supposed to come down the road right here, and then as soon as it passes, it could literally just disappear. It doesn't really matter. It's just so like right here or so, you need to actually see it come into play, because you can see this road. Unless I put a building right there, that would be smart. Maybe I could just add to this array and see it let's turn that one down to 0, turn this one up to 1. That's a lot going on there. It doesn't matter what I do because there's only one. So I will duplicate on the X. Doesn't need to be duplicated whatsoever. Let's do that on the 90. Grab it on the X. Grab that on the Y. And let's keep grabbing it on the Y. Like right here. And I'm going to link this one. Delete it. And I can link these two as well. Delete them as well. That way I could link this, duplicate it, and plop it over here. Rotate it 180 degrees on the Z-axis. That way it's different than the building that's right in front of it. And let's go back in here. Now there's buildings there. Let's make sure that the road and everything doesn't... There's a building in the road. Good job. Why? Where? Oh, there it is. Link. And we can grab this one pretty easy. Just move it out of the road. But it did what I wanted it to do, and that is to make it to where you cannot see if there is a car coming around the corner. That was kind of a long workaround for a very simple thing. Yeah. That way, I don't have to animate that car coming until it's literally like in the shot right here at 140. Save, Control Shift S to save again, and let's grab a car, one of these cars, and let's do the van. And I remember that I did the Shift or the Alt Shift duplicate, which will not allow me to add the modifier for whatever reason. I don't know, to be honest with you. I really don't know. I would like to know, but I'm not curious enough right now to look into it. Okay. And before we duplicate that, let's set the origin to the volume and duplicate that on the y-axis. And you know what, I don't really want, I'm not going to animate the you know what, actually I will animate them, because you might see these as they go by the graph editor. And I rotate. Let's go to 6. Rotate 360 degrees on the X. I was right. But I think it's going the wrong way. No, it's actually going the right way. That's good. Perfection. And let's just constrain and add the same rotation that we just did from cube. Yeah. Perfect. Let's select both of those. Hold Shift. You know what? Let's actually first select everything. Unselect these. And select this one last. The body of the building. And let's just Control J to join. Let's make sure it didn't destroy anything. Now this is one big piece. These wheels need to be parented accordingly, and let's just do it by object. And yep, there's spinning wheels once. That's exactly what we wanted. No. And interpolate and make an F curve. There. Spinning wheels. Control S to save it. And let's rename actually the actual mesh itself to van. Save that again. And let's select all this. Control C, copy. And let's open up that car chase scene again. We just saved it, I know that. So let's go back to the beginning. Where it all... Oh, no, wait. We don't want to go back to the beginning. We want to go to like frame 140 where we were just at. Because this is not another car to be chased. Instead, it's a vehicle going the opposite direction. So right about here, 135, just to make sure. We want it like right there. And let's select this guy for now, hit the dot, and we need the car to come in right here at about 135, right? So we actually want to put it down here. And can I paste to 3D cursor? Is that not a thing? I don't think so. That's fine. I'll move it manually like a savage. I did this so long without knowing that I was able to move the 3D cursor that I've become a bit of an expert at maneuvering 3D space when there's probably a workaround. Oh, you're not facing the right way, little buddy. That's a big van. Let's make sure it's relative. Meaning it's the proper size. It appears to be. Now I can add that cube, the empty cube, so that way when I'm animating it's easier for me to manipulate an additional animation inside of or on top of that original animation. Boy, I hope that makes sense. For this guy, I'm going to set origin to the 3D cursor, so that way oh no, that did a weird thing. Let's try that again. Let's see if it messes with me. For some reason, those those wheels in the back wanted to hop all the way up here. You know, that's not really necessary. I was just trying to make it easier on myself. But by doing so, I was making a complication. Now, I'm going to animate just the cube after parenting the car to it. Object. And that will make sense to mostly folks that do in fact animate. For everybody else, I'm sorry. Oops. Nope. Undo that. I only want location right now. Location. I'm going to move this. like that. Did you not save the last location? You do not. Cool. And this will be a pain in the butt to animate because it's obviously not along a Z axis or whatever. I guess I could probably go on to local and it will work a little bit better, but let's see if I even need to do that. So let's move this to be like here. Why is it rotated? So when this comes into play, it looks like it was just driving along the road the whole time. It's exactly what we wanted. There should be 0 rotation. Just this. Make sure it's going fast enough, because I don't want it to seem off, I guess. Location. Okay, so now a car passes. Let's go even further down, see if it'll play a little bit better. It will not. So like, I'm getting close. Probably going to turn on motion blur just to smidge it a little tiny bit. If there's a car that goes by now. Boy, that texture on there looks rough. It's gonna bother me. I'm gonna fix that texture by turning down the strength. Oh, that's on the road. The road looked fine. This did not. 0.5. Oh, what? 0.5? Oh, I was already there. There we go. Let's go back in and look at it. That looks pretty good. It's rough, but it's not too rough. I kind of want to add a sun and a background. Let's add the background first, see how much light that actually adds. Let's go into the world. And I'm already using nodes. That's great, because I want to add a sky. I could use an environment and find a HDR that has something that I would actually be happy with, but I believe this looks better to me. Oh, what looks better to you? This transparent background. That's exactly what I want. Okay. Okay. Now turn up the amount of light it allows. See what time of day it is. Probably still gonna add a sun. I like that light. Yep, definitely gonna add a sun. And I'm actually just gonna have the sun facing down. Just so you can actually see everything that's going on. 1.8, sure. Let's go back in there. And it does help you, you're able to see everything now. Now let's go in here. See how much of a difference this makes further around the timeline. The sun could probably be turned down. That's what I'm thinking. I want there to be sun. I don't want it to be crazy overwhelming. See, like the road looks a little bit too bright. The camera needs animation on it as well. Again, that may be something that I change down the line once I get a little further into it. But you kind of get the idea of what I got going on here. I might pause and take a break on this for a minute and come back and do some hard finishings. So the mirror looks so weird now with the sky. Oh well. Yes. So now I could go in and start animating the actual camera movements and such. I think I'll do that after taking a break. Maybe I'll add in a second vehicle, a second non-action vehicle, I guess. And then yeah, I can like rotate the camera around while they're driving, and that'll make it a lot more of an action scene to like pan around and like maybe pan around this way. I could pan around the entire thing, honestly. And that's the magic of using empty objects in Blender. I'm sure other programs have something very similar. I freaking love them. That's like my favorite thing. So I'm gonna save again, and that's just to make sure that I have a file that I can come back to, and if something is messed up for some reason, I can come back and edit it accordingly the way I want it to be. But I think I'm done for this segment of video. I'll come back and make a little bit more magic. Happy Halloween, folks. Be safe out there. Do safe things. Till next time, I will jump back onto this and add some more detail and mess with the camera make everything look nice and neat. I'm going to render a couple of frames of this to make sure it's everything's driving smooth, so I don't get too far and have to stretch out a bunch of keyframes, because the more keyframes there are, the more difficult that is to do. You get the idea. Until next time, it's been Eric Polley at earthly.com. And yes, this was a very long video. If you watched the entire thing, thank you so much. And like, subscribe, do all the things that you would typically do. It actually does help small-time animator folk like me quite a bit. More than you would probably think. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.